Hey you guys, it's Hadassah Monique, aka the Stoned Priestess. Today I'm going to be looking at Tourette syndrome and multiple sclerosis. Someone got me interested in looking at multiple sclerosis. I wanted to talk a little bit about that. Because it got me a little bit interested. Maybe what I have isn't Tourette's, but multiple sclerosis. Unfortunately, though, I can't see a specialist until after I do my sleep study with a neurologist. Once I do that next month, then I'll be able to schedule an appointment with another neurologist to take a look at the Tourette's symptoms that I have, and the possibility of having actually multiple sclerosis. But I have a little bit of an issue with multiple sclerosis because I'm going to explain later. I don't have a lot of the symptoms of multiple sclerosis. I do have, however, symptoms of Tourette syndrome, but it's kind of complicated. So I'm going to go ahead and explain that in a minute. But first I want to take a look at both Tourette's and multiple sclerosis. Okay, so right away, we are taking a look at the Tourette syndrome symptoms. First of all, it is a nervous symptom. It's a nervous system involving repetitive movements or unwanted sounds, which is what I do. If you have seen my last video about my life with Tourette syndrome, you would know that that is exactly what I do. I have actually 4, not 3 types of tics. One being that my eye will twitch a little bit involuntarily. 2, I will do this a lot, and which is a repetitive, sorry, I can't speak today. I'm having problems with my speech. Which is a repetitive movement that I make. Sometimes it causes me to hurt my neck because of how severe it is. And so, I'm moving my head constantly back like this, and it's involuntarily happening. And if I'm trying too hard to stop it from happening, it just makes it worse. Now, so we have the eye twitching, we have the neck movement, and we have the squeak that happens. It sounds like that I'm sneezing, but I'm not. I have no control over that. And then we have the squeak and the neck movement. And all of these happen in repetitive moments, and it lasts maybe just a couple of seconds, maybe 3 seconds at most. But the squeak stuff goes unnoticed most of the time because it sounds like I am sneezing. So I have learned how to disguise my repetitive movements. I have not yet been able to capture an actual what's that word? I'm just drawing a blank. An actual episode. So I haven't been able to capture an actual episode on camera, which is kind of strange because a lot of times it happens when I'm not even on camera or nobody is around, and it's kind of like frustrating because it's something that I really want help with. And with Tourette syndrome, it usually starts in childhood. My symptoms didn't start until I was 19 or 20 years old, and they have gotten worse over time. That is a very strange situation because Tourette's usually starts between the ages of 6 and 9. I believe it said something about that in here. 3 and 9. So it starts between the ages of 3 and 9 years old. And it's more common in men than women. All right, so tics are classified as either simple or complex. Simple motor tics are sudden, brief, repetitive movements that involved a limited number of muscle groups, which is exactly what happens when I have these episodes. Some of the more common simple tics include eye blinking and other eye movements, facial grimacing, shoulder shrugging, and head or shoulder jerking. Mine is head and shoulder head and shoulder jerking. That is what happens with me. Some vocalizations might include repetitive throat clearing, sniffing, or grunting sounds. Complex tics are distinct, coordinated patterns of movements involving several muscle groups. I do throat clearing and sniffing stuff, but to me it's more, I feel like that is more about my allergies. That's more about my allergies. It's not related to my Tourette's symptoms in any way, I don't think. Okay, other complex motor tics may actually appear purposeful, including sniffing or touching objects, hopping, jumping, bending, or twisting. Some vocal tics may include throat clearing, sniffing, snorting, grunting, or barking. More complex vocal tics include words or phrases. I don't have that. Like I said, I just do the squeaking thing. Perhaps the most traumatic and disabling tics include motor movements that result in self-harm, such as punching oneself in the face, or vocal tics, including coprolalia, uttering social inappropriate words as swearing. I don't do that. I swear, but I don't do that. Fortunately. So I'm not going to go into the full description of what the symptoms are because I don't have all these other symptoms. The only thing that is worrying is that my symptoms didn't start until I was 19 or 20 years old, and with multiple sclerosis, the symptoms start on onset between 19 and 20 years old. So let's take a look at multiple sclerosis symptoms. So multiple sclerosis, or MS, can cause a wide range of symptoms and affect any part of the body. Each person with the condition is affected differently. The symptoms are unpredictable. Some people's symptoms develop and worsen steadily over time, while others, they come and go. Periods when symptoms get worse are known as relapses. Periods when symptoms improve or disappear are known as remissions. Some of the most common symptoms include fatigue. That is a tough one because I take medications that cause fatigue. So, I mean, I don't know if that is related to the possibility of being diagnosed with MS. Vision problems. I don't have vision problems. I've worn glasses since I was about 10 or 11 years old. And yes, my eyesight has gotten worse, but only because I've worn contacts longer than I should have. So that is actually my fault. Numbness and tingling. I don't have numbness or tingling. I have the usual, what everybody gets when you've been sitting on your legs for too long. That's normal for me. I don't really have the kind of numbness and tingling that they're talking about. What they're talking about is something that happens a lot more often and for no reason. The reasons I have numbness the reasons I have numbness and tingling are normal, except when I have my tics coming on. It starts the tingling starts right here in my head, on this side of my head, or is it this side? I don't know. Sometimes it switches between the sides of my head. So it's usually on the side of my head. So it's on the side of my head. I feel a tingling sensation before the tics start. And that's the only place that I have tingling. I don't have numbness, actually. I don't have numbness anywhere. Muscle spasms, stiffness and weakness. Muscle spasms. The Tourette's symptoms that I have is technically a muscle spasm. It's an involuntary muscle spasm, and it's repetitive. Mobility problems. I can walk just fine. Pain. I don't have any pain at all. I do actually have arthritis in my knees that come and go, but it's not really all that bad. I take glucosamine for that. Problems with thinking, learning, and planning. I have been diagnosed with a learning disability and with speech impediment and speech issues. I have taken classes since I was very young for speech therapy, speech pathology. I still have learning and speech issues, depression and anxiety. I have that. I've always had depression and anxiety. Sexual problems. I have no sexual problems. If I have to be honest with you though, when I was taking Depakote, Trazodone, and Zoloft, those gave me some issues. But other than that, I am totally fine. Bladder problems. Nope, I have no issues with my bladder. Bowel problems. That I have, but it's because of my diet, and now I'm on a fasting thing, and I'm trying to get myself regular by changing my diet and intermittent fasting and drinking more water. So now that I am prescribed a water pill, I have to drink a lot more water now. So there's that. Speech and swallowing difficulties. Like I said, I still have a speech issue, which is a lifelong thing with me, and it's a constant work in progress. As you can probably tell, I still have that issue. Swallowing, I have no problem with swallowing. However, I don't see breathing issues here. I need to do deep breathing exercises because I tend to run out of breath. I don't know if it's because I talk a lot when I'm nervous or whatever, but I don't think that has anything to do with multiple sclerosis. I'm just talking at this point. I go deeper into explaining why each symptom of MS is or isn't me. Mostly isn't, so you can skip ahead if you like. Okay, so yeah, these things do not describe me at all. Temporary loss of vision, never had that. Eye pain, never had that. Flashes of light when moving the eye, nope. Double vision, don't have that, never had that. Abnormal sensations. Abnormal sensations can be common initial symptom of MS. This often takes the form of numbness or tingling in different parts of your body, such as arms, legs, trunk, which typically spreads out over a few days. I've never had that issue. Just the normal tingling and stuff everybody gets when they sit for too long or whatever. Muscle spasms, stiffness and weakness, contract tightly and painfully, spasm. It's not the same thing as Tourette's after all. I think that's just the best way that I can describe it. I don't have pain when I having a physical Tourette's tick. Okay. It's just that if I try to stop my tick from happening, that is what I get is the potential of hurting my neck, because I'm trying to stop myself from like doing this, and I don't know. It's just that. Become stiff and resistant to movements. No. Feel weak. No, I don't feel weak. Clumsiness. Clumsiness happens when I'm having a episode. When I'm having an episode, my hands, my thumbs, everything from the waist up becomes totally useless. If I'm holding something, I drop it. If I am on my phone, I hit a wrong button or, anything. It's just like that. Shaking of the limbs. No, I don't have that. Difficulty with balance or coordination, don't have that. Dizziness or vertigo, which can make people feel as though everything around them is spinning. No, don't have that. Pain caused by MS itself, neuropathic pain. Stabbing pain in the face, never have that. A variety of sensations in the trunk, limbs, including feelings of burning, pins and needles, hugging or squeezing. I don't have that at all. Musculoskeletal pain, back, neck, joint pain can be indirectly caused by MS, particularly for people who have problems walking or moving around that puts pressure on their lower back or hips. I don't have that. Problems with thinking, learning, and planning. Okay, this is a whole different kind of issue for me. It's a separate issue because I am on the autistic spectrum, and part of being on the spectrum is problems with thinking and learning. I don't know if planning is one of them. I don't think so. People with MS have problems with thinking, learning, and planning, known as cognitive dysfunction. This can include problems learning and remembering new things. Long-term memory is usually affected. I have that issue. Slowness in processing lots of information or multitasking. I have that issue. A shortened attention span. I've always had that issue. Getting stuck on words. I have issues with speech where I don't just get stuck on words, but it's like I have a different, it's like I know a different language, but English is my only language. I've never spoken any other language at all in my life. I'm not fluent. But in my head, it's as if I am trying to translate my thought into speech, and I can't do that. Translating my thought into speech is very difficult a lot of times, especially when I'm under a lot of stress or anxiety. Sometimes not even under stress or anxiety. It just happens. But that is part of the autism in me, actually, not MS. Problems with understanding and processing visual information, such as reading a map. I can read things. I don't really have an issue with reading directions at all. I am a graduated chef, so reading directions is kind of part of the whole deal. I can follow directions. I can follow a map just fine. It's just if somebody were to give me directions without visual aid, that's where I have a problem. So I need visual aid. Difficulty with planning and problem solving. People often report that they know what to do, but can't grasp how to do it. I don't know, because I have this thing where I'm constantly thinking all the time. So I'm constantly thinking about how to solve issues, and sometimes I go out of my way to cause a problem so that I can fix it. But it's technological, like doing a piece of artwork or a digital artwork, or editing a video, or things like that, things that require hand and eye coordination. Technological problem solving is what I tend to do, but I don't know. I like this does not have anything to do with MS for me. I think it has to do with my autism in me, not MS, regardless. Problems with reasoning, such as mathematical laws or solving puzzles. I love puzzles. I don't mind doing them. My favorite is actually geometry, and I love Sudoku. So I have no problems with that. But many of these problems aren't specific to MS, as I said, can be caused by a wide range of other conditions, including depression and anxiety, or some other medicines. Mental health issues. Many people with MS experience periods of depression. I have been diagnosed with depression since I was little, and then I was diagnosed with bipolar type 2 when I became an adult, around like 19, 20 years old, and that's when I got diagnosed. Anxiety can be a problem with people with MS, possibly because of unpredictable nature of the condition. I have anxiety because of my Tourette's tics, and because of I have PTSD. So my anxiety is linked with PTSD due to issues with bullying in school and social interactions that have gone bad. So that's where it lies with me. Sexual issues, like I said, I don't have any of these issues at all. Men with MS often find it hard to obtain or maintain an erection. I'm not a dude. They may also find it takes longer to ejaculate when having sex or masturbating, and may even lose the ability to ejaculate altogether. Not my problem. I'm not a dude. For women, problems include difficulty reaching orgasm, as well as decreased vaginal lubrication and sensation. That is often linked with medications for depression and anxiety. I'm not on the kind of medications right now that give me that issue, so I definitely don't have that problem. Everything is good on that front. Both men and women with MS may find they're less interested in sex than they were before. Not my issue. Bladder problems. Bladder problems are common in MS. They may include having to pee more frequently. I pee a lot because I drink a lot of water. Having a sudden urgent need to pee, which can lead to unintentionally passing urine. No, I don't have incontinence. I don't piss myself. Difficulty emptying the bladder completely. Don't have that problem. Having to get up frequently during the night to pee. I don't have that problem. Recurrent urinary tract infections. No. These problems can also have a range of causes other than MS. I like how they say that. Bowel problems, constipation, Bowel incontinence don't have that issue. They mention again that some of these issues can be linked to other issues. Speech and swallowing difficulties. Some people with MS experience difficulty chewing and swallowing. I don't have that issue. Speech may become slurred or difficult to understand. For me, that's more like a excuse me, it's more of a autism spectrum thing and anxiety thing where my speech might become slurred or difficult to understand. Okay, so MS is an autoimmune condition, which means your immune system mistakes part of your body as a foreign substance and attacks it. Rude. In some cases of MS, it attacks the myelin sheath of the brain and spinal cord. This is the layer that surrounds your nerves, protecting them and helping electrical signals travel from the brain to the rest of the body. The attacks cause the myelin sheath to become inflamed in small patches, plaques, or lesions, which can be seen in an MRI scan, which I do plan to do anyway. These patches of information can disrupt the messages traveling along the nerves. It can slow them down, jumble them, send them the wrong way, or stop them from getting through completely. This disruption leads to the symptoms and signs of MS. When the inflammation goes away, it can leave behind scarring of the myelin sheath, sclerosis. These attacks, particularly if frequent and repeated, can eventually lead to permanent damage to the underlying nerves. Okay, so I'm not going to go any deeper on this. I just wanted to compare my symptoms with Tourette syndrome and possible multiple sclerosis. I don't think I have multiple sclerosis in the least bit. Tourette's, however, I have. I know that I have that. But it's strange that it has started to occur when I was 19 or 20 years old, which is not common. It usually starts at a young age, unless I've always had it and I never noticed it. Who knows? Because sometimes Tourette's syndrome is not noticeable in a lot of people, and so they can get by with, appearing normal. So that is what I wanted to do. I wanted to just show you guys that, whoa, this is not, that's so annoying. I just wanted to show you guys how I felt about multiple sclerosis versus Tourette syndrome. I personally do not think that I have multiple sclerosis at all. But I am going to bring it up with a doctor because it is the right thing to do. It really is the right thing to do. And I'm going to make sure that I cover all my bases. Once I do finally see a neurologist, I'm going to bring that up and find out what is going on up in here. Especially why my Tourette symptoms have started so late or have been noticed so late. And, it's gotten worse. It hasn't gotten better. So my boyfriend also has Tourette's. For him, it's gotten better for him over time. He had it when he was younger. So and even if he does have a tic, it's not noticeable for him. Where for me, it's actually progressed worse over time. And it happens more frequently depending on the medication and my level of anxiety, my level of depression, my temperature change. Those are the things that affect my Tourette's tics. So looking at both of this information, I'm pretty confident I don't have MS at all in the least bit. But that's it. I just wanted to talk about that. If there's any other things that you want me to talk about, this was actually requested by somebody on a direct message to me privately. So I thought it was a good idea. Anyway, once again, my name is Hadassah Monique, aka the Stoned Priestess. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. If you happen to be viewing this video off my blog or your Tumblr dash, don't forget to hit the follow button so that you are up to date and know your questions have been answered.